Hello, folks out there. This episode of the podcast is partnered by Audible. Greg, you know what I love about Audible?
What do you love about Audible,
I
John?
don't have to pick up a book anymore and carry it around with me. In fact, I carry it around in my phone, which is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. They literally keep thousands of titles right on your phone, accessible at any time when you're driving, when you're cooking, when you're mowing the lawn, changing a diaper, doesn't matter. It's all right there at your fingertips, John. They've got podcasts, they've got lectures, they've got some like health and wellness and like fitness series on there that if you just are looking for something to fill that gap, like you're not getting into a book right now, it's all there for you, man.
If you're a member, Greg, what's cool about it is you get 3 titles per month. The first one you can pick whatever you want. Like I've said, I'll probably start hitting up some of those health and wellness books. And then what's awesome is they have 2 Audible exclusives. Exclusives, folks. You can't get it anywhere else.
It's true. That is very true. So if you guys want to get on the Audible train, you can go to audibletrial.com/JATG. That stands for Johnny and the Greg. Hook yourself up with a 30-day free trial. No promises, no nothing. If you don't like it, which I can't imagine you're not going to like it, you can cancel at any time. But the great thing about that is the books you get during your free trial, or if at any time, those books are yours. Like you get to keep them. You can listen to them nonstop, anytime, all the time.
Sounds like a deal to me, man. So if you guys are smart, like I know you guys are, because you already listen to this podcast, sign yourself up, guys. What do you got to lose? It's 30-day free trial, and it's books, it's knowledge. Gotta drink it up.
It is. It is. So one more time, it is audibletrial.com/JATG.
Stuff you're thinking.
Like comic
The usual.
stuff. Yeah, I mean probably prints to start with, but if I hang a shelf there, get some of my statues.
Yeah. So we were just talking about he has a Brewer shirt on. I actually cannot see the logo on this Brewer shirt, but I'll
Well,
take your word
no,
for it.
no, no. The shirt, the brewer shirt is the underneath. So
Oh, okay. This is just
Like-
a jump.
yeah, this is just a pullover. But you know,
All right.
if
So
I
my
were
question
to do a little Girls Gone Wild action there,
The Greg Gone Wild.
yeah. So for the people
Tune
at home,
into
I just
YouTube to see
pulled
the
up.
full
Yeah,
show, folks.
the show. It is the show. No, it's
Hey,
shirt.
so we were talking about that you're a Brewers fan, but you're not really a Brewers fan.
Yes, that's true. I mean, growing up in Wisconsin, I think hometown teams are just totally expected. I don't know if that's the same in other states as much as Wisconsin, but
I think you fall into a group where let me try to say this. You don't really care enough to venture out on those sports to see what else is out there. You're just like, oh, if they're doing good, they're doing good. All right, cool. If they're
Yeah,
doing
that's-
bad, all right, there's next year.
yeah, that's very much my
Yeah.
feeling on it.
Yeah, you just don't care enough. But you care enough to go, yeah. Or, oh, you want to go watch the game and drink? I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If someone
okay.
says, "Do you want like, hey, we're gonna set up a Brewers game and we're gonna go tailgate and tickets are this much. We got a group of people going. Do you want to go?" Oh yeah, I'm fucking game.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
that's
That's
and
your-
I have a great time. And while I'm there, I'm into the game. Like I'm watching
okay.
the game. I mean, it's not just me.
So you don't have a
Not getting-
problem watching a baseball game.
No, not at all.
Okay, live, TV, or both you're cool with.
Oh, I would much prefer live.
Yes.
Like I'm not gonna watch a baseball game on my own. Like
Yeah, neither am
sitting
I.
at home on my TV. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. If a group of people, like if you and I got together for the purpose of watching a baseball
game?
game,
Yeah.
we're gonna watch it. We're gonna be into it. But
Okay.
it's
That won't happen at my house.
no, I know.
I'm
But-
just not a baseball guy. I've actually tried, because I'm like all my
Uh-huh.
friends really get into it, and I've actually sat down and watched 3 hours of it one time, and I thought, oh my god, can something happen here?
Yeah.
And
I've given it the college try for sure.
Yeah, me too. And look, I get it. I get it for people that love it, and look, because I love football, and I know there's people out there that don't like football that love whatever sport that they're in, or they love to crochet, and that's their thing. That's cool, totally fine. I get it. So
it's a slow game. I mean,
yeah,
it's a slow game punctuated by points of amazing action and athleticism. And
well, they
and
say the
those points
hardest
are
thing to
great.
do in sports is to hit a ball, a baseball bat, a baseball. They say it's the hardest thing to do in sports.
I've never heard that, but I can see where it's probably difficult, or like it is the most like I didn't play baseball like I guess I really agree with that because one of the reasons I quit playing baseball, like Little League, is because I couldn't hit the damn ball.
Couldn't hit the damn ball. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never look, I never had a ball thrown at me. Like I've had it underhand pitched to me, but I've never had it thrown at me like they're trying to get past my bat to a certain target.
Yeah.
Never been through that. So I can't say.
Or
but
even
I guess if you just look at
70+ mile an hour hard ball flying in your direction, that causes me to want to duck. Like
70. They're like 90 now.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. 70 is like the low end. I mean,
yeah.
70, you're getting up into 90. You're like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. I have gone to batting cages.
Yeah, no.
And that just doesn't seem the same. But I guess if you look at statistics, the best in the world, if you hit 30% for the year, you're doing good.
Well, that's what they brag. I mean, if you're
or you're doing, I think that's fantastic.
If your at bats are 500, that's like, oh my gosh, you need an award. So that's literally you're hitting the ball half the time.
Yeah.
But for me, it's and that's the boring part of baseball is, 3 up, 3 down, ball one, ball, or if it's really boring and it's ball, 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 strike, ball, ball, strike, ball, hit. Oh, they caught it. He's out. I mean, and that's
you're right.
And you're right. I'm really not trying to make fun of people that are fans of baseball or baseball players. I mean, it takes skill. I'm not gonna.
No, for sure. Let's see. When I lived in Atlanta, I was taken to an Atlanta Braves, and I think this might have a lot to do with it too. It depends on what team you're going to. When they introduced John Smoltz to come out and close the game, it was like a rock show.
Yeah.
And I got a little jazzed. I'm like, cool, what's going on? Like this sounds cool. So that was a cool experience, but I've never watched a Braves game since.
Yeah.
Like I never got hooked on it. I know it's a religion in Boston. It's all about the Red Sox. Yeah. I know it's a big time thing there. But anyway, I don't know how we do that, but
there, I mean, because we're football fans, and I will watch football for teams that I don't care about. Like I will watch
like the Browns.
Like the Browns, yeah. I mean, or I think this year I caught myself. Oh crap! The Chargers were playing somebody, and I don't even remember who. Yeah. But my family looked at me and they're like, "Do you care about this game?" I said, "No, not really." "Can we change it?" I said, "No, I'm watching football." They're like, "What?" I don't get it. I mean, it was odd for them because I just don't usually do that with any other sport.
Yeah. Do you think that has a lot to do with the fact that you're getting old and so there's moments, I don't want to say you're less busy because I think that's crap. When you have kids, you're always busy. When you're married, you're always busy. But do you think as you're getting older, you're I don't know, you're having these moments where you're like, I'm just going to veg because I've earned it?
A little bit. I think it's also some stage of life stuff. I mean, like I'm on a Sunday morning, especially this past year with COVID and like lockdown, and we've discussed that I'm a churchgoer, but there was no church. I mean, because it was all virtual, and when it's virtual, you're like, I can catch it live, or I can sleep in and catch it on the video, it's the exact same thing. It didn't really matter. There wasn't that human connection or interaction that you get from going to church. So with that, my kids would stay up in their room on Sunday mornings, and so would my wife. And so I would come downstairs and, you know, have breakfast, stuff like that, and then I'm sitting there, and then football would come on, and then they may journey downstairs, grab some lunch or whatever, and head back up to their rooms to watch. I mean, this is the kids. They would watch their phones or their computers or play video games or read their books or whatever. And then it became like, this was really the first season, this past season, where I'm like, I can sit down here on my TV and watch football, and no one's going to bother me. And so that's what I did. And if the Packers didn't play until 3, then I would watch, or the late game. Then I would watch whoever else was on. I would look at the games and go. And honestly, we've talked about this. If the Bears were playing the noon game, I'd watch the Bear game.
Yeah. You always would text me about how do you think the Bears are. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not watching them.
Yeah, I think I watched more Bears games this year than you did.
Yeah.
And so I would just start doing that. I was like, this is fantastic. I mean, that's why I got into football more. Now, again, I wasn't dedicating brain space to learning a lot of the players' names where they played. I mean,
I'll be honest, I'm not there anymore either. I used to be able to tell you every single roster.
Yeah. Yep. I know, and I knew plenty of guys like that. I remember having a conversation in high school with these guys that were really big into the Raiders. And I'm like, I said, you guys can name not just who are on the Raiders now, but you can go back to the 80s. I mean, those guys that can just rattle off entire rosters for decades. And I'm like, I ain't got that kind of brain space. Now, that being said, I can rattle off like the Avengers from decades ago.
Yeah, what do you think that is? What do you think that is, man? Do you think that's just you give a shit more about that?
Doing what you love. I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so too. It seems to me that it's just like my daughter right now is getting into those Imaginext action figures. The little things about this big. And so she's really into the DC characters because that's all I'll get her. And so she keeps asking me, who's this? Who's this? Who's this? And Ursula keeps going, how do you know all these guys? I'm like, honey, this is my childhood. I knew all these guys. Hey, speaking of superheroes, let's dive into WandaVision here.
Sure.
Because I have a question for you, and we're going to give us some spoilers here, folks. So if you don't want to listen to WandaVision, you're just going to have to keep fast forwarding until you don't hear anything about WandaVision anymore.
We're up through episode 8 right now.
Yeah. What do you think of it, first off?
I like it. I like how it built. I really did. When the first couple episodes, like the Dick Van Dyke style episode, and as you're watching it, and you're like, what are they doing?
Right.
Like, there's obviously something going on with the endings. They would do some kind of weird little Ginchy thing or whatever, but you're like, what in the world are they doing?
Yeah.
To the point where you would read reviews and people are like, this is slow. Like, this is boring and it is slow. And I tell you, it was like an avalanche. It just started small, and now it is a freaking roller coaster ride. I mean, full bore, straight ahead kind of shit.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to. I remember texting you, and again, I always judge how a movie's hitting, like how Marvel's hitting. Actually, how a movie's hitting when Ursula's watching it, because Ursula's not tied to this stuff. She doesn't have love behind any of this.
Right.
And so she will always give you an honest opinion. You know, like when Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull first came out, I tried to find so many avenues where I was like, no, it was good. It was good. You know, and it wasn't.
Fool yourself,
yeah. There were good parts, but that didn't make a good movie. So No, I liked it when he was in Area 51 fighting the Russians. I thought it was cool.
So the beginning.
Yeah, yeah. Until it started, going crazy.
Anything after that was
Yeah.
terrible.
Anything after that was pretty bad. Actually, the minute I think he got the minute he got into the refrigerator
To
and
survive
got,
the nuclear
yeah,
blast. Yeah.
actually that didn't bother me because I'm like, all right, it's Indiana Jones. There's a little goofy stuff here. It's when he locked eyes with the gopher that I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like that's just cartoonish. Why are we doing this? That doesn't happen. Anyway, going back to WandaVision. Yeah, I think I texted you the first 2 episodes. I'm like, this better pay off, man, because I don't know what they're doing. But I actually was a fan as a kid of the Dick Van Dyke Show. It was like one of my. I used to love watching for some reason, but
because it was good.
yeah,
Because it was a good TV.
it was, and I would watch, and as she kept going further down the line in terms of sitcom history,
Mhm.
I was like, oh, I know that. Ursula kept going, what is this now? I'm like, I think that's Malcolm in the Middle, and I think that's Bewitched. I think this one is Modern Family.
Yeah, she got to Modern Family. That was the one that took my family the most. What do you think that is? I'm like, it's Modern Family. Like, she's talking to the camera. She's being interviewed.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be one of those things when it's all done. I think you're going to actually end up watching it maybe I will 1 or 2 more times to go, oh, I see it here.
There is definitely some rewatchability on this one, especially with all the little things in the background. I'm a little disappointed. Disappointment might not be the right word. Agatha Harkness. She's not a villain in the Marvel comics, and she's
she always played both sides.
She's not. Well, not really. I mean, she was Franklin Richards' nanny. I mean, that was how she was introduced, and then she had a little bit in the Spider-Man books, but it wasn't this villain. She wasn't a villain.
I don't think she's a villain in this.
I don't know. So far, she seems to be.
She seems to be, but if you like
this last episode, I'm starting to wonder. Like, is she just trying to awaken?
Okay. Here's all right. Here's my question for you. Did Wanda go into this thing because Vision bought land? What was that note? Remember, she opened it up, it had a heart, and it said, like, this is where we will be, V. I thought it was from Vision, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And that's when she all of a sudden just has this mental, like, breakdown, and she just creates this house out of a foundation, right?
Right. I got the feeling like that foundation that she was walking on.
Yes.
Yeah, was the beginning of a home. My first reaction was, what, they don't have basements where they're at? But that was neither here nor there.
Right. But did Vision buy that property?
It seemed to be. Yeah, like he had acquired that. Like he was building a house there.
Okay.
Or having a house built for them.
He saw something there and he thought, hey, this would be great when we're done with this superhero stuff.
Yeah. And that's where she.
So when she created that and the hexagon went spread out in all areas, was Agatha Harkness already there and then she was enveloped in this, or did she sneak in because she felt this power like surge? Because I feel Agnes. Who is it?
Well,
Agatha.
It's Agatha, but Agnes is what they've been calling her.
I feel Agatha is more or less trying to figure out who this girl is. Can I use this? Can I train her? Like, is she a threat? Is she a foe? Is this something I can drain power from? Is this like
and that's where I think they're playing her off as a villain. Like the beginning of this episode where we see her take out her entire coven.
Yeah.
And not just like take them out, but she somehow absorbed their power and their life energy.
Right. Yeah.
To prolong her own life. I think that's what makes me say villain. And she's got she killed the dog. She's keeping her boys. I mean, Wanda's kids, which are fake anyway. And so there's a lot of that to it.
Are they fake?
Are the kids fake?
Yeah, because
if we're going by what I know from the comics, yes,
they're fake,
They
but
are
they end up becoming alive again.
no.
Never. So when they become Wiccan and Speedy or whatever, Speedster, you don't know that. The Young Avengers, they're both real now. They're
Wiccan the son of? I mean, I know
Yeah.
who Wiccan is in the Young Avengers. Did they
Yeah.
come out? I didn't read Young Avengers past.
He's the
issue
son of.
7.
I didn't read it either, but I do know this that he is the son of Scarlet Witch.
Huh.
Yeah, so I think they're going that route because I think they're setting up a Young Avengers because you got Hawkeye coming soon with Kate Bishop. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I am because I didn't know that.
My big monitor cashed out on me right before this podcast, so I'm only on the little guy, so I can't look up anything. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, that was my, and then I guess I need to ask. White Vision, is this something? Is he going to be the threat? Is he going to be the bad guy? Is he?
So what they're doing? Hold on. Yep, that sure as shit. First appearance is William Maximoff in Vision and the Scarlet Witch, 1986. Oh, but then is William Kaplan in Young Avengers #1 in 2005. Species, he's a human mutant. Married to Hulkling. Brother to Speed.
Speed, is that his name? Just Speed?
Yeah. I'll have to read up on him because I wasn't aware that was.
I love it when they have a lame code name, but it works.
Yeah.
Like Kite Man. You're kind of like, that is lame, but okay, it kind of works. All right.
Okay. When the boys' souls were reabsorbed into Mephisto because of the power Wanda put into the soul fragments, they destroyed him and their souls were reincarnated as Thomas Shepard, the Young Avenger, Speed, and Billy. So that's what happened. So I know the first part of that story, and I didn't read Young Avengers far enough to get to that where they brought him back. Because so this is this is actually West Coast Avengers kind of stuff.
I remember that.
So Wanda, she willed them into being these two boys, and it was actually a manipulation of Mephisto, who was Marvel's version of the devil. And
which I don't think Mephisto is going to happen at all.
I don't think so.
Do you know why?
No.
Because outside of the US, Disney and especially the Marvel Universe's biggest supporters, fans, is China. But China has real strict censorship and some things, and they do not allow the devil or anything like that to be shown.
That's a good point.
So you can't. I mean, if Marvel's thinking money-wise, they're thinking you can't do anything with Mephisto because you're going to lose a ton of money from China.
Take out that China market. That's a good point. But anyway, in the comic, Mephisto reabsorbs the boys because they were part of his manipulations.
Yeah.
And then they were gone. And Wanda had a mental breakdown. The White Vision is also in the comics.
Right,
so,
I know that. I just don't know the backstory.
Well, the backstory is exactly what you've seen. Vision was destroyed, and I don't think it was Sword, but I thought it was AIM actually that had his body in pieces. And in the comics, you can look at it, and it's like it's like the human nervous system, but it was circuitry, and they had that all splayed out on the table.
Right.
And then when he was reconstructed, he's this White Vision. But he will have no knowledge of his relationship with Wanda, so he'll be back.
Is he just like a Terminator?
No,
I don't mean in terms of killing. I just mean in terms of no emotion. There's nothing there.
It was. I mean, it was Vision, but he was like, "I'm sorry, I have no memory of you," and that drove Wanda into the arms of
Wonder Man.
Yeah. And that became like a weird love triangle kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's how the comic read. I don't know where they're gonna take it in here, but
Yeah, especially if there's two visions running around. Well,
yeah, I mean, in that whole a Wiccan speed thing, I mean, that was obviously like Marvel Comics going, well, we got these guys. Do we want to do something with them? Yeah, I suppose, because it's comic books. We can bring back anybody from the dead that we want. So that's what they did. It makes sense though. I couldn't understand why one of the boys was dressed as Wiccan. I'm like looking at him like, that's that weird Young Avenger comic.
Yeah.
That had some great characters, but I stopped reading because I think it got cut short pretty quickly.
Yeah. So, okay. So, and here's the other thing: Quicksilver isn't Pietro. It isn't her Pietro. And didn't Agatha explain it like, "Oh, I just used that guy"?
Yeah. I thought they were going to do a multiverse kind of thing,
and they're not. It
They're
seems.
not. Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
Unless
I don't know. How do you feel about that? Because I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're not continuing that." Okay.
I think it's comic books. I mean, it's based in comics. Agatha could be saying, "No, I just used that guy," and then find out later that guy is actually Quicksilver in the multiverse. I mean, I don't know. It could go.
Yeah, it can go anyway.
Way.
Yeah.
In terms of does it ruin part of my day? No.
Yeah, I hear you. So here's something that goes back to, I guess, a conversation you and I have been having and debating and just talking about it. I don't feel like, again, we're not on a certain side. Actually, we are. But the whole streaming versus movies, right?
Okay. Yeah.
We've hammered this, but I've heard some interesting news. And somebody caught it on, I don't know what website, but when Disney Plus was previewing, you know how they have their little menu bar up there?
Yeah.
Somebody caught, and it's been taken down, but somebody caught Black Widow streaming May 7th. Okay. Here's what somebody had a theory on it that, okay, since Marvel started this now, they have to release Widow sooner than later because they've started the timeline going. It's going now, and it's not going to stop because I think we get a week break, and then we go right into Falcon and Winter Soldier.
That is correct.
And sometime in May is Black Widow, whether it's in the theater, Disney Plus, or both. And then it goes into Loki. And now, so they've started the timeline. They can't stop it all of a sudden and rearrange it. I guess they could. But according to them, so that what I'm saying is this puts a lot of pressure for Black Widow to it's probably going to be streamed. I think it is. And I think a lot of this Raya, the Last Dragon, is going to have a lot to do with it. But you put Raya out there versus the Black Widow. Look, man, I'm probably going to watch Black Widow on the.
Sure.
I'm probably going to stream that.
But, and that's kind of, I mean, so is Matt. Matt.
Right. No, I get it. And I'm not trying to. It sounds like I'm on the side of streaming every time we go into this argument or this discussion, I should say. But I get both sides. I just think it's an inevitable certainty. That's all.
But, to your point of the timeline. Yeah, I think. We were supposed to get Black Widow last year,
right?
And I believe
COVID hit. And then,
yes, I believe that. Yeah. I believe COVID did
it. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
That is something I do believe. What am I trying to say? WandaVision and Winter Soldier and Falcon. They're on time. So yeah, I think in terms of like Marvel saying we have our phases that we have to keep in line. Yeah, I think there's probably been some strategy into, okay, guys, how can we do this? What do we do? So
yeah,
in different universe news, are you good? Can I bring up another topic?
Well, my question. No, I think we're good. How do you think it's going to end? How do you think WandaVision's going to end?
Wait, Vision comes through. Maybe, maybe they, maybe he gets his memory back somehow.
I see. Do you like the idea of Vision coming back or no?
Oh yeah, I think he's a great character, and I think Paul Bentley is a phenomenal actor
Yeah, me
in
too.
the role, and I will watch him in just about anything he does. So I do want to see him continue, like that. If they're gonna do kind of like you said, Terminator type Vision, where he's got no memory, and I mean, are they gonna fight kind of deal? I'm not. I guess I'm not real interested in that storyline, depending on how it plays out.
Unless Wanda throws the guy she made back into him,
maybe that's
back
what
into
they'll
that
do.
body.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, without the soul gem there, not the soul gem, the mind gem. I think, and that's why they're going to say Vision is not Vision because he doesn't have the mind gem to generate that. So we'll see.
We'll see. Who do you think, or do you have any guesses on who do you think the last? Is there going to be an appearance by Doctor Strange, or is it going to be Professor X, or is it going to be somebody that's going to pop in and say? Because I know that WandaVision leads into either Spider-Man 3. I know this for a fact. WandaVision, Spider-Man 3, and Doctor Strange 2 all connect somehow. I know it's all connected, but I'm saying that these three actually connect in a way. So I'm expecting a cameo from somebody there. Even if it's a last, a post-credit scene or something. I do know that Doctor Strange's one is actually Marvel's first scary movie.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. I don't know what. Are you expecting any more cameos, or you think we're
I'm
done?
really not. I'm really not expecting
okay.
more cameos. Other than like Winter Soldier and Falcon could show up just to lead into the next show, but that seems unnecessary.
Yeah, off.
I'm really not expecting any other cameos.
Okay,
but at the
not
same,
even Strange coming down and go, Wanda, we need to talk.
No, not really. I mean, but at the same time, I go, there could be some more cameos. I mean, I'm not going to speculate on what it could be, but at the same time, I could see them throwing one in.
I hear you. Okay, cool.
It could be. I mean, we do now have, whatever you want to call her, Captain Marvel, Warbird,
Rambeau.
Yeah, Monica Rambeau.
Yeah.
She's got powers now.
Do you think they're replacing Captain Marvel with her?
No, but Monica like that character did take the name Captain Marvel.
That's what I'm saying.
For a short
they're
time.
doing that? Because this is how I was going to transition to this was to Brie Larson actually, because I get the idea. I'm sorry, I'm confused. I don't know if Marvel likes her because it seems like Marvel fans don't.
And I don't know why. I don't understand that hate. I really don't. I thought Captain Marvel was a good film, and I
think it's a good film. I think they don't like her.
Yeah, and I don't know why. Other than
it's the whole woke thing. Woke pisses a lot of people off. I don't know why. I get it if you want to shove it down somebody's throat, that's going to turn people off. But when she sits there and tells that she doesn't care about our opinions on the Marvel movie, that turned off a lot of 40-year-old guys who are basically carrying this Marvel movie for right now.
Kind of. I mean, I think it's more like the 20-something generation right now that we're supposed to care about everybody's opinion. And they're like, I don't know. She's right. She shouldn't care whether we like the film or not. She's going to go out there and make the best film. Every actor should be that way. I mean, you make something, you hope people like it, but if they don't, it's not the end of your world. Because if you want to be mad at Brie Larson about something, go listen to her early 2000s music career. We found that over the weekend, and it's.
What are you talking about?
Oh, she was a recording artist, my friend. I didn't really know much about her, and so just going through Spotify, and I don't know how it came up. It's like, you can listen to Brie Larson, and I was like, Brie Larson. Like
Well,
that's
you're
not
quite the music connoisseur.
well, and I do listen to a
Yeah.
lot of different types of music,
You really do.
and she was suggested, and I'm like, why the? Then like, and it didn't even look like her. Does not even come close to looking like her because they've got her very done up and on the cover. And then I listened to it. It is this bubblegum Nickelodeon pop kind of trash. It is trash pop music. And I looked her up more. I didn't know this. She's been acting since she was a kid. She was
Really?
in a show called Raising Dad, Raising My Father, something. It was Bob Saget's follow-up sitcom after Full House.
Really? I didn't even
Yes.
know he did a follow-up.
Yep. He was a widowed dad raising two girls. Girls were played by Brie Larson and Kat Dennings,
Who's Kat Dennings?
the scientist, dark-haired scientist, was in Two Broke Girls. Darcy.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, had no idea, and then started looking through her filmography. As a teen, was doing teen roles. Like she's in 13 Going on 30 with Jennifer Gardner,
Yes, I know that. Yeah.
and I wasn't aware that
She was in
even
21 Jump Street too.
Didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I haven't watched that.
When
film since
when I first heard she got Captain Marvel, I went, "Wait, what? That's the girl from 21 Jump Street."
yeah, I don't remember who she was in that film.
Yeah. She was also on Skull Island.
Yeah, we watched that over the weekend.
Photographer, which we're going to get into that. But
Good.
I want to hang on before you continue. I want to let the audience know. So the next couple of weeks are going to be a little up in the air, just simply because a lot of us are going on vacation, and so what I was thinking, what we could do, and I'll explain more offline. But what I was thinking we can do is stop this now, and then record another episode talking about, because we got to have a discussion about Kong here. So I was going to stop this now. We were going to move on because I'm thinking of either I'll just talk to you offline about it. But stay tuned for part 2 of this. We'll be right back. We'll be back next week.
Next week on the topic. But before we go, so this is the end of the Marvel topic. I got to bring this up because I just read this today and it's relevant.
Cool.
They're rebooting Superman.
Yes.
Like another reboot. J.J. Abrams is producing.
Sorry, yes.
With a different director that they're going to work closely. And Abrams wrote a script years ago. I don't know if they're going to use that as a jumping off point or not, or if it's going to be something new. But Henry Cavill is rumored to not be Superman.
How do you feel about that?
A little disappointed. I like him.
I like him. I like him too.
I like his reverence for the role.
Right.
Like he's a nerd like the rest of us.
Yeah.
You know. So I'd like to. It opens him up to star in some other nerd-based films, which I think is good. Reportedly, though, and I just read this article, he has reached out to Marvel and said, "What do you got for me?"
What do you got for him, Greg?
So many things, John.
Really? Do you really?
Kind of. I mean, well, first off, he's maintained his Superman physique.
Yes.
So he's kind of ready to go. I mean, Marvel should be snatching him up because they don't got to put a year of training into this guy.
No.
They really don't.
What would you give him?
My first thought, I would, and it's kind of a one-off, and they're not going to do this with him because he wants to be a franchise player. But if he was willing to do one film, or maybe even a series of films, I would cast him as Kraven the Hunter. As a Spider-Man
You're really reaching there. Okay.
Spider-Man villain.
I wasn't going there at all with that.
Most people wouldn't, but that would be my first go-to, was make him Kraven the Hunter. And I think he would kill it in that role.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that though.
No, I can't think of anybody I give him. You're not going to give that dude Wolverine. He's too big.
Is he tall? I don't know if he's that tall.
I think he's 6'4", legit. like a 6'4",
Is
at
he?
least six. He's in the sixes, 6'2", 6'3".
Standing next to Tom Cruise, everybody's tall. So,
Yeah, but standing next to Ben Affleck.
that may or may not have been real. I'm going to look it up on how tall he is. But my other thought, and it all depends on how Winter Soldier and Falcon plays out. Well, I know because we're already going to see U.S. Agent, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've already got a guy
They
for
already
that.
got him. Yeah.
But that would have been my like.
No, you don't put him at U.S. because U.S. Agent doesn't really have. And forgive me forever who's starring and who is being U.S. Agent. I'm not saying it's not a Henry Cavill part. Like if you're gonna get that guy, that talent, you're gonna put him in something bigger.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying.
Yeah,
Like
right.
I can't think of. I mean, maybe an X-Man, but would he be Cyclops?
Henry Cavill is 6'1".
Okay. So
In Hollywood terms, he's tall.
yeah, but I don't know. Maybe Wolverine. I don't know. I don't see him being.
I wouldn't put him
He's too. Oh, Doom.
Maybe. I could see that.
Because he's kind of regal.
Especially if you could he could pull off the arrogance of Doom.
Yes.
If you put him up against like John Krasinski's Reed Richards,
you could almost believe those two were in college with each other.
That's when I was going. Yeah, you could believe that they're the same age.
Yeah. Yeah, because the guy that they're thinking about now, who isn't bad, I love it, the actor. He plays Moff Gideon on The Mandalorian. There's a big fan thing for him. You know what I'm talking about?
To be Dr. Doom?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, Giancarlo.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Something.
Esposito or something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I apologize, sir. I love your
There's a big push for that guy to be Dr. Doom. There's a big like fan push, as much as it is for Krasinski to be Reed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
But maybe. But
I mean, you've got to with Cavill. I mean, maybe a Thor character or a Thor villain.
Balder.
Balder is Thor's brother.
Right, I know, but it almost seems
Beta Ray Bill. He probably wouldn't do it, but Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, if you take Beta Ray Bill and you put him on the Guardians of the Galaxy for like Volume 4, then maybe that could carry on. But I just feel like, I don't know. Like my next one is Colossus, but
no.
You're right. I don't know anybody else. Maybe Sebastian Shaw from the Hellfire Club.
Again, another villain could be Gambit.
Yeah. No, I don't see him as. Well, I personally don't see him as Gambit. It's not like you're not right or wrong. I'm just saying I don't see him as Gambit. Who do you see as Gambit? I almost see a charming.
I'm not a Gambit fan.
Neither am I. I've never been.
Ooh, but now that you say that, I don't know why I just thought of this, but Jared Padalecki.
Really?
Tall, yeah, tall, lanky.
He's tall. He's not lanky, dude. He's jacked.
Well, actually, you're right. Yeah, I'm thinking of him.
He's like a linebacker. Actually,
I wanted him for Solo. I saw someone do like a Solo, like a side by side of
Solo.
Yeah, Han Solo.
That would have been pretty good, actually,
because he's got the attitude for it. But yeah. So feel free to speculate if you want to hit us up in the comments.
Let us know. That should be interesting. Who would you cast as Superman, bro?
I don't know. There's a lot of speculation that they might go with like Michael B. Jordan.
How do you feel about that?
You know, I don't know. I mean, I get it. And it's a multiverse. So, there's black Supermen out there for sure.
Yeah.
I think it would take me a little bit in the film to just make that mental switch. because of the iconic character that is
Superman.
Superman. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. It's not that I would have a problem with it. It's I don't know if I grew up Superman was one guy.
Yeah.
I mean, and what I mean by that, he's a white guy, middle America, white guy, black hair, curly thing, curly hair thing in the middle of his forehead.
Curly Q.
Curly Q, yeah. Um Superman. That's who he is. I don't
Well,
picture. I know there's a black guy in the comic books now, and I know he's from a multiverse.
yeah.
And I get the idea of. I get the idea of it. I do. I get the idea of it, and I don't know if with me if it's I'm turning into the get off my lawn, don't change my Superman. You know.
Well, for me, I mean, for me, you don't change the race of Superman for the same reason you don't change the race of Rhodey, Iron Man's Rhodey,
Okay.
of War Machine.
Makes sense. Yes.
The
Good
same
point.
reason you don't change the race of John Stewart, the Green Lantern.
Right.
You just, it's just, I mean, because if you did that, if you said, okay, we're going to cast a white guy as Rhodey, people would go nuts.
Right.
And it's not that their color is so integral to their characters that changing the race of John Stewart or Rhodey, it doesn't matter. Like they're the race of those characters don't. The race of Black Panther, that matters. That's why Black Panther's
Right.
black.
Yes.
I mean, that
Yes.
you don't mess with that.
Right.
But you could with Rhodey, you could with John Stewart, and you could with a lot of other characters. But you don't.
Right.
And I guess that's why I'm in the same space with that with Kal-El, with the Superman that we know. If you want to do a multiverse Superman, cool, fine, do that.
Yeah.
In the same way that when they do James Gordon's going to be black in the Batman.
Yeah.
Cool, fine, doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, that makes a good point. I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah.
Like right when I saw that didn't even appear. I didn't even sit there and go, "Oh, they made him black." I didn't even
bat an eye. Not gonna.
I didn't even think about that until somebody mentioned it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, well, who cares?" Like he's a great actor. He's gonna pull off Gordon great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, man. I think we'll end it there, and then we'll jump on to part 2.
No. We've got to talk about something else. We're not even at an hour yet. We're fine.
We're 45.
Yeah, we're good. We've got time for one more thing. So, John, you're not on Snapchat.
No.
Nope. You're not.
No.
You're not.
Why,
You're not
there?
much of it. People being people. So I had an experience this week that I just got to get out there, and it's one of these stories that if I told you off the air, you're going to go, "Damn it, that's a good podcast story." So here we go.
Cool. Go.
So I'm on Snapchat, and I got to tell you, I'm never on it. Like, I have the app, I've got an account. I follow some people I'm connected with, like high school and local friend, whatever.
Hang on, real quick. Snapchat is that one app where you take a picture of yourself and for 30 seconds it's out there?
Yeah, like you can send it to friends. They say it doesn't save anywhere, but let's face it, this is the internet.
It does save. Yeah.
It's somewhere.
Yeah.
So what I use Snapchat for is to keep up with a couple different friends that are kind of exclusively on that format.
Okay.
And to watch the Fail Army videos. That's pretty much.
Those are great.
Pretty much my extent of Snapchat. I don't ever put content out there. Really, I don't. So a week ago last Saturday, I'm sitting there and playing some video games on Saturday morning, and I get a bing, and I look, and it's a Snapchat from someone that I know. And all it says is from a lady. She says, "Hey, how's it going?" "All right, I'm fine. How are you?" cool. And she always starts, how have you been? And I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm going to get hit up with some kind of, have you ever wanted to make more money? Or
multi-level marketing
something.
scheme.
Yeah. And this person, and I'm not close with this person. I don't talk with her often. Haven't really communicated with her in 10-ish years. So she's writing me and we're just kind of doing the catch up. And then she goes, she's like, hey, when are you getting married? And I was like, okay. So I wrote her back. I'm like, well, Chris and I have been married for about 20 years. I don't really feel the need to do it again. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. She's like, I thought you guys were doing it again. Or like, and I was like, she does not know who this is. And on Snapchat, it's not a picture of your face. It's like a cartoon version.
Oh,
of
okay.
your, so for me, it just looks like a bald bearded guy wearing a flannel. And I was like, oh shit. How do I tell her that this isn't me? But then I started putting out some more specifics, talking about my wife by name, things like that. Yeah. And she was like, oh yeah. She's like, okay. And I started asking her some questions. I'm like, hey, well, you're in this town now, right? Like, you moved back to Wisconsin. She's like, oh yeah, I've been back for a while. I was here. Now I'm up here. Okay, we're good. Like, she knows who I am now.
Right.
So then I did put a couple pictures out there using their like fun with filters, took a couple selfies just to be like, she'll see this and realize this is me. That was Saturday. And, whatever. Nothing happens. I think we get to Tuesday. I think it was. I've been so wanting to text you all week with this. So I'm at my desk. I'm working, right? And I get a little bing, and this is the morning. It's like 9 o'clock. Pick it up, take a look. And I get a good morning picture. And it is this woman's tits.
What?
Yep.
That just...
I got a picture of her rack.
Did you sit there and say, like, oh, this has to be the wrong thing?
Which is substantial, I might add. I was just like, oh, what the? And at first thought that enters my head is, I'm just like, I'm in trouble. Like, I have done nothing here, but I'm just like, I am in so much trouble. So I'm like, oh my God. And so now I'm like, okay. And you're right, because it's Snapchat, you check it, it goes away. It's not on my phone. It's not on it's nowhere. And so I'm just like, shit. What do I do? So I chat her back because she can see that I have seen the message.
Yeah.
And so I just write her back and I just said, well, that was unexpected. And she's like, your turn. I'm like, yuck. What? So I'm like, no thanks, blah blah blah. So we're going back and forth, and I'm like, God, I thought she knew who this was. Like,
are you sure she doesn't know? Is she just fishing for an affair?
Well, now and then I started to kind of wonder.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and she's probably 10-ish years younger than me.
Oh,
which when you get to this age is not a huge deal, but in the age, but I was just like, no.
Yeah, of course not.
I was just like, what? So I'm thinking, if she is fishing for an affair, why in random happenstance do you pick the guy that you haven't talked to in over 10 years? And so I was just like, this is so off.
That's weird. Yeah, it's off.
So she keeps asking, send me a picture. And I said, no. She's like, just send me a picture of you smiling then.
No.
And I was like, I don't even want to do that. Because now I'm thinking maybe this isn't really her. Maybe someone's hacked her account. Maybe
that's a good point.
So I'm thinking all this stuff. So then I was like, well, shit. Okay. I'll send her like an old picture. So I sent her a selfie that I took wearing a Johnny and the Greg stocking cap, like
I know that one. Yeah.
in front of my Christmas tree, fully clothed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, okay, here we go. So I send it, and then I write back almost. I see the icon that shows that she has read it,
Yeah.
and I write back immediately. I go, I bet you're having some realizations right now. Immediately, I am blocked. She has unfriended me. And I can only think that she was like, fuck, and just completely took me out of any of her social media stuff. We're still connected on Facebook, and I'm not bringing anything up there. But yeah, it was.
Wow.
It was
I don't know where to go with this. I don't know what to think about this.
So, I mean, I've never had anything like this happen to me before.
Wow.
It's not the opening of a penthouse letter,
Oh.
but it was just like, how random. And I mean,
Yeah.
we've talked to our friend Aaron about dating in this
Yes,
age
yes.
and getting unsolicited sexual pics and
Right.
things like that. So this was all new ground for me. And I'm going, what the hell?
Yeah.
And now,
That's
and
weird.
I have
So
said,
anybody else that hung out and listened this long,
oh,
what are your thoughts, guys? Was this
yeah.
girl fishing for an affair, or did she think it was Greg Strudebaker instead
Yeah.
of Greg Struley?
she
So.
had to think I was somebody else
Yeah.
because I don't
I-
use my name.
Well, not only that, Greg, I
On
don't
social
see anybody. Okay, you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you're on TikTok. Like, people see your family. Like, they see your family. If they've listened to this, they know that you're a loyal father, that you're a loyal husband, that you can't even cheat on your wife in your dreams. Like, it's been well documented. What makes
Yeah.
them think that they can just
So random to just get and so I was I'm down here at I'm wearing like shit. What do I do? So and my wife who works a freelance business happened to be she was home. So she came down and she's like, "Hey, how's work going?" I'm like, "Good. Want to hear what I did today?" And so because she's connected to this woman too. She was friends with her. And so we're just like, how random.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my God. And then she's like, well, I feel bad. I feel bad for her. Like if she's doing that for attention from any guy, like that's not good. I'm like, that's
not
I said,
good.
but I think that's dating now for one thing. But yeah, so that was was my, how'd your week go? I'm like,
I hear you. Okay.
that's something weird.
So, guys, I think that's a great way to end it. So, look, I'm not in the dating scene anymore. I don't want to be ever again. I'm gonna have to deal with it from a father's point of view. I can't imagine dealing it from any other point of view. So with that, guys, I don't care if it's the thing to do. Don't send your junk. Don't send your boobs. Don't send that stuff out. It's out there. It will never disappear. It will never go away. And you don't want that thing coming back at you one day. You just don't. So that's I'm going to leave. So Greg usually says, don't be a douche. I'm saying don't take a picture of your junk and send it to people.
Put the camera away. Put the camera
Bad idea. Bad idea.
All right.
All right, man. I think we'll sign off there. Part 2 coming at you next week. So for Johnny and the Greg, podcast out. Everybody have a good day. See ya.